So welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me here today. I've had a little bit of a break from filming. October has been a rough month, I have to say. There's been some really great things about October, but it has been a challenging month. I think I've decided that it would be best for me to not go into too much detail here about it. If you've been following me over on Instagram, I've been talking about it in my stories. Just to sum it up, it's actually something that has affected a friend of mine very tragically and profoundly, and it's affected me indirectly. So yeah, it's been a tough month, and I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I've been on a little bit of a hiatus from filming and also Instagram in general. I'm not too sure how much time away I'm gonna need, if any more time away, coming up here in the next few weeks. I will be attending a funeral, sad to say, coming up here. I'm filming today actually on Sunday, which is not normally a day that I film on. I don't know exactly when I will get to edit this, but yeah, I am unfortunately going to be attending my friend's son's funeral on Wednesday. So yeah, just bear with me on the filming front and in terms of posting on Instagram. But like I said, there's good things happening too as well. That's just kind of how life goes, it seems. There's the good and the bad. In my last video, I mentioned that I would talk about my favorite products, or the products that I'm loving right now, to mix together. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I haven't really had time to deep dive into ingredients or really analyze why I like to mix these together. So it's really just intuitive, just to show you how I have fun with products, what I've been liking mixing together lately. It's also what I like layering together. So this is kind of a video talking about layering products and mixing products. I want to say right off the bat, as you guys know, I am not a dermatologist. I am not an esthetician. I'm a skincare enthusiast. I do love to do research on products, but ultimately I am my own guinea pig. So you will have to talk to your own dermatologist, primary care provider, esthetician, whoever it is that you seek out for advice in terms of your own skin. If you're not going to talk to your dermatologist about maybe anything that I say here today, make sure that you use a patch test if you're doing something new. I always like to say, in terms of dosage and using new products, you want to start low and go slow. So don't glop on a whole bunch of new product onto your face if it's something that you've never used before or a combination you've never tried before. It's good to be playful with your skincare and not take it too seriously, but at the same time, you do want to be careful with new ingredients, especially when you're dealing with active. So with that disclaimer out of the way, I think I want to start with eye care and what I have been doing lately over the last few months for what I use under my eyes, because it seems like every morning, especially lately, I don't know what it has been with the stress or just sort of weird allergies I get in the fall, I've been waking up frequently with puffy eyes. I've talked about this a lot. And my favorite under eye gel / mask treatment that I like to use are the 100% pure eye gels. Unfortunately, the packaging of those are not very eco-friendly. So I had mentioned before that I've been looking for an alternative, something that comes in a jar like this so that you can get, 30 treatments in a jar rather than having to open up an individual packaging, that has the, like the plastic, whatever you call it, like the plastic, like carrier that holds the eye gels in it. So I'm not being very coherent here today in explaining what that packaging looks like. But anyway, I did find these. I think I got these on the Peach and Lily website. And so what these look like, it has the little cover like this, and then it has this plastic spoon to get them out. And then you can see is it has these little like teardrop shaped masks that you put individually under your eyes. I am not really crazy about the shape of these because I don't feel like I can get right up under my eye, but they work well enough. But what I do, and the reason why this is applicable to this video, is I layer it with the eye serum from Kahina underneath. So what I do is I put the Kahina eye serum under my eye first, and then I put the mask on top, which actually has been working really, really well. So on their own, I'm not super crazy about this mask, but when these eye masks are combined with the Kahina eye serum, it actually works really, really well. I've been doing this, I don't know, for maybe the last 4 to 6 weeks, and it has been working really well for me. So I do recommend this combination. So that'll be the first thing I do in the morning, even before I cleanse or do anything else. I will just wake up in the morning. If my eyes are puffy, that is the very, very first thing I do while I'm doing anything else around the house. On the days that I'm working, I will slap that on while I'm making my lunch or getting my kids breakfast ready or whatever it is. I will do that very first thing in the morning. So now let's move on to cleansing, because I do have a new little mask cleansing routine that I've been doing. If you have followed my channel at all, you know that I really love the Moss Burr Celeste. That is a mask slash balm cleanser that I am in love with, but I am currently out of it. So what I have been doing instead is I have been using the Heart of Gold Sea Change Cleansing Balm as my mask cleanser. Now this came in the Boxwalla Beauty Box. I believe it was in August. And I love this so much that I went ahead and got an additional box. And if there are still boxes available where you can buy the one-time box, I will link that below. I use this as just a regular cleanser, you know, where you warm it up in your hand, put it on your face, and immediately rinse it off. But I have been using this as a mask as well. I love doing shower masks, so I'm not gonna be washing my hair and conditioning my hair. What I'll do is I will put a balm cleanser on my face and then just wash my body. If I'm doing a scrub or shaving my legs or whatever, I will then just keep the balm cleanser on my face. And then what I like to do, and here is the layering portion of this mask, I will then take another cleanser to emulsify off the mask, which I will say you don't need an emulsifier to remove this mask, but I just like being extra and then using something additional to remove it. I have been really loving using the Jordan Samuel Matinee Gel Cleanser to remove the Sea Change Balm Cleanser. They work really, really well together. And then the other thing that I have been using to remove Sea Change is the Dr. Hauschka Cleansing Milk. And I have been using this for years and years, probably upwards of 20 years now. But I have just kind of fallen in love with this because I purchased this during the recent Whole Foods sale. It was already on sale, and then I got an additional 20% off. So it was just a really good deal. So I decided to get it. And as you can see, I've used a pretty good amount of it so far. And I just really love this cleanser. So this has been a really great layering, cleansing, mask type situation that I love. So, and then these two together as well. Really nice layering, cleansing mask duo. So that's another fun layering situation you can do. So if you already have a cleansing balm and then you have a really nice emulsifying cleanser, I highly recommend using those two in conjunction. I typically do use, and you've heard me talk about this a lot, the Tata Harper Regenerating Cleanser, but I kind of wanted to tweak it and try something new. So I've just been trying to get out of that rut and try some new combinations of layering. And so yeah, these are my new discoveries and I absolutely love it and have been enjoying it. Another kind of mask situation that I have really been loving is the Infiori Lustra oil. This is a cleansing oil that does not emulsify. Let's see if that is focused in. And I think this little sticker thing has gotten a little wonky. I don't think it's supposed to be off to the side like that. And using that with another Heart of Gold product, and this is the Gommage Gel that also came in that Boxwalla Beauty Box. But as you've probably heard me talk about, the gommage aspect of this didn't really work so well for me. So what Ali, who is the creator of Heart of Gold, recommended doing was using this as a moisture mask. So what I do is I put a layer of this cleansing oil on my skin first, and then I put a thin oil of the gommage gel on top. And oh my gosh, it is just such a beautiful combination because both of them have jasmine sambac oil in it. So It is just so transporting, intoxicating, just like tropical jasmine bliss. Jasmine Sambac just kind of has this like warm, tropical, kind of almost like resinous heat that you can experience. I don't know, at least I experienced that with that particular jasmine, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous experience. So like I said, I layer the oil first. You can use any oil, obviously, but just this combination of the two is particularly gorgeous. So put the oil on first, and then the gommage on top, the Modern Love on top, and then I just let it sit for just like between 5-10 minutes, and then rinse it off with remove it with a warm washcloth, and then my skin is just so soft afterwards. It's a beautiful, beautiful combination. So don't let the gommage aspect of this deter you if you're not interested in the gommage, or if you've seen some reviews that mention that the gommage didn't really work out so well. I will find out if there are the one-time boxes still available. A couple weeks ago, they were still available. And while I'm talking about the Boxwalla Beauty Box that featured Heart of Gold, let's go ahead and talk about the Sweet Briar Hydrating Nectar. I am almost out of this bottle. I think it's pretty much empty, which was a big impetus for me to go ahead and purchase the new box, because I do not ever want to be out of this, because I love it. And I have several of these emulsion type products here, because these products are really the superstar of this type of video, of like a mixology layering type of experience, because these products you can mix with pretty much anything. I will take some, like maybe 3 drops or 3 pumps of one of these products and spray a hydrosol in it. I didn't bring that down, but just to, just right off, like thinking off the top of my head, I don't do it very often, but I will sometimes spray a hydrosol in it, mix it up, and pat it into my skin if I feel like I just want a light moisture. But I don't really do that often, because I usually want something more moisturizing. What I typically do is I actually mix them together. So for instance, since the weather is getting colder, my skin is getting drier, I love mixing the hydrating nectar with the moss potency. Potency is definitely thicker, it's more emollient, and these two together are amazing. So I will take 2 pumps of the Heart of Gold, 2 pumps of the moss, and it is just perfection. And if I do this at nighttime with the 2 of these together, then all I really need on top is just a little bit of oil. And I am really loving right now the Herbivore Emerald. This is their CBD product. This is like a small bottle that I got from Sephora, and I'm really liking this. And then I also really love using the Fivenia Grace Autumn oil on top. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous oil. And then I also have really been loving, I don't think I've talked about this at all, this is the Pi Back to Life Hydration Serum. This is a little bit thinner, I would say, than these two. This is the thinnest one of the 3. So I feel like this is really nice in the morning. So I like combining this with either one of these if I want something just a little bit thinner, if I know I'm going to be using a thicker moisturizer on top, or if I'm going to be doing a thicker moisturizer with sunscreen, and then I'm going to be putting a foundation on top. So this is great for layering more things over it. This has been a great discovery, and I will talk about this probably more, deep dive into the ingredients, maybe in an empties video. I'm not too sure, but I will talk about this more later. So let's talk a little bit more about actives, because this is where you do want to be a little bit more careful in terms of mixing things. I don't think there's anything I've mentioned so far where you really need to be careful about mixing things. So let's talk about retinol. So with retinol, and of course if you're using retinol, you need to be very, very careful with your SPF. I have really been liking this one from Drunk Elephant. It is very high percentage retinol. I do believe it's about 1%. So I wouldn't just jump into this right off the bat if your skin has not already been retinizing with something with a lower percentage. So the Gothamisa actually just posted a video where she was speaking about mixing products and what you might want to avoid. And the only thing she really brought up was benzoyl peroxide, and that you do want to avoid benzoyl peroxide if you're using tretinoic acid, because I think those two can cancel each other out. I would highly recommend, if you are using benzoyl peroxide, to go check out her video, because she goes a little bit more in depth than what I'm going to do in terms of talking about other retinoid products. So I can't remember if she said retinol specifically, but she did talk about retinoic acid specifically. So I would be cautious with benzoyl peroxide and retinoids, because there is that chance that those two could cancel each other out. I don't think you're gonna do any damage to your skin, but there is that chance that the effects of those two actives might cancel each other out. So go check out her video if you are using both of those products. She also did mention benzoyl peroxide and vitamin C, and those two definitely cancel each other out. So you wanna be aware of that as well. So back to retinol, what I like to do is I like to combine retinol with niacinamide, because niacinamide does help boost the effects of retinol. So what I will do is I will use a niacinamide product such as this Vis Viva rose water serum that has urea in it and niacinamide. This has been a really lovely discovery. I have been enjoying this serum quite a bit. And I also do have the ordinary niacinamide serum too. So I will put this on first, and then I will layer the retinol on top. And then of course put a moisturizer on top of that. I don't typically mix these two together in the palm of my hand, but I will put this on first, and then I'll put the retinol on top. And then I do get a lot of questions about lactic acid and how I like to layer my lactic acid with the retinol. And I do both ways. I will put lactic acid on first, and then I'll put the retinol on top. And as an example of a product that has lactic acid in it, I have the Live Botanical Calm and Hydrate Exfoliating Serum. This is the old packaging, but I'm pretty sure that Carolyn is still making this product with the lactic acid in it. And so like I said, I will do both ways. I will put this on first and then put a retinoid product on top. Sometimes actually I will put the retinoid product on first and then put the lactic acid over it. My skin responds to both ways. I haven't really seen a difference in terms of which way seems to be better than the other for my skin personally. I don't think you can do harm with either way. I think it just depends on what works the best for your skin. Again, if you're concerned about it, I would contact your dermatologist, and you do want to be careful if you've never used anything like a lactic acid or glycolic acid, you've never used any kind of retinoid product before. I wouldn't start by combining the two, because your skin needs to get adapted to these products that are dealing with exfoliation and cell turnover. So you want to be careful with these products if you've never used them before. So I wouldn't just start in with layering lactic acid and retinoids if you've never used them before. You probably want to start with one and maybe use those for a few weeks, and then if you want to integrate in the next one, maybe alternate nights, see how your skin does, and again, start low, go slow, and then maybe you could start to layer them. So you've got time. You don't need to rush things. See how your skin reacts, if your skin likes it. Personally, my skin absolutely loves lactic acid. I can use glycolic acid, and I use it every once in a while, but I get just as good of a response from lactic acid as I do from glycolic acid, and lactic acid just seems to be much more gentle. It's much more hydrating. I get just as much of a glow and a beautiful response from lactic acid as I do from glycolic acid. So I feel like, why shouldn't I just go with the one that is more gentle? So yeah, that's my personal preference, and I have been getting a great response using the retinols and alternating with the prescription strength retin A. So I will go way more in depth with all of this when I do my anti-aging update. But yeah, just to give you a little bit of a mini update and how I, use these products and how I'm layering and mixing them. I just wanted to, give you that little bit of information within this video. I do have a couple more products, and this is pretty standard. I do really love using my creams at nighttime. This is Opulence by Ayelet. This is probably my favorite one that I have going right now. It is just so beautiful. Sometimes I will add a couple drops of oil into the cream, not very often. I mean, I feel like that Opulence cream is just so dialed in, but if you ever felt like you wanted to add an oil just to make it a little bit richer, especially if an oil serum has a particular oil in it that you want to boost it with, like let's say if it has argan oil in it or prickly pear seed oil, and you really want to boost its vitamin E content or something like that, I highly recommend mixing those oils with your cream if that is something that you really enjoy doing. Another thing I wanted to mention is mixing in hyaluronic acid serums. So this is a really lovely one from Live Botanical that just has hyaluronic acid, green tea, and aloe in it. So it's really simple but really elegant, and you can mix this in pretty much anything you want to. You can put it in a cream, you can mix it with your oils, you can put it in one of these other types of serums like this pie one, or any emulsion that you want to, and you can really just go nuts with that hyaluronic acid serum. I mean, it's beautiful, it's so easy to mix, and really I would say just being creative and playful and not feeling like you're restricted in any way. And essentially there really are no rules in terms of layering and mixing, as long as you're using products that you know that your skin is okay with, and you're not starting with an active that you've never used before or that you're unsure about and you could have a sensitivity to, but assuming that you're using ingredients that you know that your skin enjoys. And you're gonna see different brands and different estheticians say different things, and there really is no right or wrong. It's just all about philosophy and what's going to work for you. So you'll notice that, like with Infiore, I do believe that she says to put the oil on first and then use the toner afterwards. And then you will hear other people say that you always need to start with your thinnest product first. I know that Sunday Riley is the proponent of using her retinol oil first, and then they recommend using the lactic acid on top. Then you will have people say that you should always put your acids on first and then you put your oils on. You have people who say that you should always wash your face in the morning. You have other people say that you don't need to wash your face in the morning, that you should just splash it with water. I know that Josh Rosebrook is an advocate of dry cleansing. I think where you just use his oil and then, or any oil, and then you remove it with a dry washcloth and don't touch your face with water when you're cleansing it. So there's all kinds of philosophies, all kinds of ideas about what's good for your skin. So personally, I just don't think there's any, as Jordan Samuel would say, there's no one right way. It's what's going to be working for your skin, what jives with you, what products work for you. And I just feel like it's good to be playful with it, creative. I think I've said that like 5 times already in this video, and not to feel too stifled by any one philosophy or any one brand, and just have fun and enjoy it and view it as self-care, because of course we all need more self-care in our world today. And just be gentle with yourself, gentle with your skin, and with the actives. Like I said, start low and go slow. So this is just what I like to do. I like to have fun with it. I like to mix different things, and I hope that you got something out of this. And let me know what your favorite things are to mix, what different like emulsions and things you like to create on your own. I hope you found this helpful, and take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.